at some point, you're going to have to put your tournament on the line in a high variance spot. You're going to have to go for glory in a spot where it might not be quote unquote optimal. I think for a couple of our entries, we should probably go with a team like Jacksonville.
The Vikings, I do think they beat the hell out of Cincinnati. I love it. The music's too hot for how bad those takes are. I think that's the only problem.
I'm a music guy. I love music. So when I put that together, I actually really love the Fox NFL Sunday theme.
I do
but
too.
Of course, copyright reasons, we can't use it exactly. So we found a variation of it on SoundCloud, little trap remix. I love I'm a big electronic music guy. I go to EDC every year.
Oh, yeah?
You've heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard of EDC. I've never been, but I've heard of it.
EDC is crazy. It's like Disneyland for adults. And well, I mean, I guess you consider over 18 adults, right? But they seem like kids to me now.
Yeah. That's amazing. Where is that usually held?
The Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and it's from dusk till dawn.
Oh my gosh. All right.
So it's
all right.
The Las Vegas. I mean, Las Vegas, I think, is the only real place that could host that because it's like it's debauchery, it's like, people are losing their minds in the middle of the desert. It's enclosed, so everybody's safe inside the motor speedway,
Yeah. I think we need a Vegas update from you just in general. We got new surroundings over there. How are we doing?
Yeah, so we got the Rio over here. We're in Las Vegas for the World Series of Poker.
Nice.
It's like a 6-week, 7-week poker festival is the way that I describe it. Basically, poker events running back to back to back to back. Bracelets up for grab, which bracelets in poker land are kind of the equivalent of like a trophy. It's like the trophy for the year-long like these are kind of like they're losing a little bit of their luster because they have so many bracelets now, but the holy grail of bracelets is the WSOP main event. And that takes place once a year. It's a $10,000 buy-in. Anybody can buy into it if you have the money. There's no qualification period. Like, you literally don't even know how to play poker to enter this thing. And sometimes, honestly, one of the reasons why it's such a high-value tournament is there are people that basically don't even know how to play poker that enter.
Right. Because especially with all the fame and excitement it got for that like 15-year run, I think it brought in a lot of noobs and a lot of like famous people that were just like, okay, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I want to be a part of something. I mean, can you think of any other sport let's not get carried away with calling poker a sport, but any other competitive thing where the World Championships is just open enrollment?
Right. Like you can't, like the baseball playoffs are happening right now. Like I can't just show up to like the ALDS and be like, I'm ready to play.
Not even like bowling, nothing. Like
no.
you have to qualify,
yeah.
And the only qualification in this thing is you have to show up with $10,000.
Yeah, which again, a pretty good qualifier.
Yeah, but it also makes it a beautiful event too, because amateurs have won a fair amount of the time, most of the time actually. And nowadays, just with how competitive poker has become, the true like poker professional grinder doesn't really exist so much anymore. It's like a hybrid.
Right. So have you messed with any of the, I know there's like 2 or 3 events have gotten underway. We've had a week of events, right?
So WSOP. Okay. So there's a big issue with poker right now. Basically, poker dealers are in a huge shortage. Yeah. And I think that like people are just struggling to find employees in general. Like even in Las Vegas, like waiters for restaurants, Uber drivers, like nobody, for some reason right now, nobody wants to work for entry-level jobs. And I think it's because they're all flipping NFTs and becoming millionaires.
Yeah, honestly.
So they can't find enough dealers to deal. So what they did was they instituted a vaccination rule. And I don't know, like there's a lot of controversy on, is this vaccination rule to protect players, or is it more for optics, or is it more because they're not even going to be able to serve everyone because they don't have enough dealers? and they've just been bringing dealers in off the streets that barely know how to deal. You know, this is a World Series of Poker festival, and they have some dealers that have never dealt before, you know, that it's like their first time dealing. So it's been, you know, the registration system, which is called Bravo, that went down the other day. They've been having some issues. So So yeah, long story short, I needed to get my vaccination. I had kind of been putting off vaccination because I had already had COVID and I had the antibodies, kind of was testing and seeing that I had antibodies. So it wasn't a high priority for me to get the vaccine.
Okay.
And then it was all of a sudden a high priority because the World Series was mandating it. So I went and got the vaccine, but they're using the Clear app to clear people, approve people for the vac status. And with that app, you have to wait 2 weeks post your last shot. And because I went to Europe, Greece, and all that, I wasn't able to schedule another shot until I got back.
Right.
Which was right before the World Series. So I'm not eligible to play my first live event for another like 3 days or so.
Okay. But you haven't missed too much, right? Like I know I have a couple friends that are down there. They had that big $500, like the massive one, right? I know.
I did want to play that one. You know, it's $500. That's the beautiful thing about the World Series too. They bring people from all over the world. It's a little bit tougher for people coming in abroad right now just because of the COVID rules and everything. But you know, 500. Where else can you just like buy in for $500 and turn it into $1 million?
I know.
In 3 or 4 days. You know, it's
crazy.
Just like that's the allure of the WSOP. It's like these huge field lottery tickets. And, you know, so I like to say that it is a lottery. Like by no like stretch of the imagination is it not a lottery. And when you are really well versed at tournament poker specifically, and you make that your life, let's say that your entry into this lottery gives you 15 tickets out of the 20,000 people that register or whatever it is, right?
Right.
15 tickets is a lot better than the guy that enters that only has one lottery ticket.
Well, right. I was making this comparison to Top Shot and the collector score thing that's happening right now, where a collector score gets you into priority queue, and it doesn't necessarily guarantee you a win, but it kind of gives you more ping pong balls. You got a higher chance of getting there. And I think it's a little bit similar to that. And I promise that we won't talk about poker the whole time. But the other thing, like my favorite thing about the World Series time too, is that not only it's not just the stuff happening at the Rio, that like every single casino has some like juicy tournaments going on. Like I always know Caesars had some really fun, like deep stack stuff as well. And there was a lot of different ways to get involved. If you were like, I need to take a break, there was only like 5K buy-ins today, so I'm going to go somewhere else and play in some of the smaller stuff. But it was always a good time.
And like right now, I mean, so many poker players are here. Like I was trying to play at the Aria the other day, and the lists are just a mile long. Every table's in use. If you want to play a cash game, it's really difficult to get in games. You got to show up early. So every poker player is here just firing right now. And, you know, it's a great time to be in Vegas, like the energy of just being around this city. And it's just poker's going on. I think I mentioned this last episode, but like NFL, the Raiders are here now. Golden Knights are getting ready to start. Vegas is actually a good basketball town too because of the sports betting. And I really want a basketball team to come here.
It's got to happen. It's got to happen at some point. It has to.
I agree.
All right. The other thing we got to talk about before we like dive into the football streets, like some people have called out the background. I don't know if they're talking about the Rio on one side. I don't know if they've seen your Twitter handle recently, but you have entered the Bored Ape streets.
Yeah. I guess what they say is I aped in. I could not help myself, man. I was watching these things for like 2 months now. And I was it's straight up FOMO, but I was like, you know what? I want to make sure that the floor price holds for a long period of time. So I waited like a solid month. And then I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to like at least negotiate some. So I started I was like, what can I find an ape that actually speaks to me? Cause like, I want to be a part of this community, and I don't want to just buy an ape just to have an ape. Like I want to buy something where when I look at this, it's like a representation of me. So I was shopping for like a month straight, getting all my Ethereum together, you know, pumping as much money as I could in there with my bank drafts, and every last Ethereum that I had went in to that purchase. These 2 purchases actually behind me. So my wife has been pretty involved with the NFT space with me.
I just wanted to throw this up there so they could see it.
She's been really interested as well. So I was like, let's find 2 projects that we both are excited about, and let's ape in. And she found World of Women.
Oh, nice.
that's that one back there, and she has like a I'll bring it a little bit closer, but she has like Sanskrit on her face, and she's blowing a bubble, which I feel like represents my wife's personality of being like
awesome.
fun. And the sunglasses are like swaggy. She's got blue eyes looking to the side. I feel like it just really represents my wife's personality. And then the ape has the Russian commie hat, and like that's to pay homage to Olga and Olga's family over in Russia. And the heart-shaped sunglasses are basically what Olga pulls out of me. You know, like I'm generally like a really low-key kind of person, and then those sunglasses are so like wild, and that's like kind of represents Olga. But if you can actually see through it on the big photo, you can, but his eyes are super bored behind there. So like it's like low key like me. And then he's got he's got the swag, he's got the earring, he's been shaving more lately. So I feel like this was my guy. So I reached out to I went on to OpenSea. I saw he was selling for 50 ETH on OpenSea.
Good God.
And I was like, well, I'm going to try to work a deal with this guy. So I was able to find his username on OpenSea, do some digging on Google. It was a pretty unique username.
Okay.
And I found his Twitter profile. And so I messaged him on Twitter. I was like, hey, I see you have this ape for sale on OpenSea. Like, what's up? Why are you selling? You know? And he's like, oh, I just need to get liquid because I'm interested in this other project. He didn't mention the other project, but I think it was Mechaverse.
Okay.
And just from seeing his tweets after that. Yeah. And I was like, well, he's like, I really don't want to let it go, but I just need Ethereum right now to move into these other projects that I think are going to make me a lot of money. Is there any way we can work a deal where you buy him with giving me the option to buy back? So I was like, okay, I really like this guy, number one, but if you want the option to buy back, this is what it's going to cost. So we settled on 45 Ethereum. If you want to buy him back, it's going to be 55 Ethereum. You only have 60 days to buy him back. And if the floor price moves up over like 50 Ethereum or something, like a minimum, basically it's 10%, it's 12.5%. It's going to cost you 12.5% of the floor price, greater than the floor price.
Okay.
Or 55 ETH, whichever is greater. So either I keep this guy after 60 days and he's part of the family, or I just made a minimum of 10 ETH for holding him for 60 days.
This feels good. This feels like one of those good investment situations. I like it.
So then we worked the deal on a site called NFTtrader.io, which not sponsored by them, but it drastically reduced the fees on it.
That's great. That's great.
And it kind of acts as like an intermediary to transfer the Ethereum with the ape. So if you have Ethereum and you have patience, because I wanted to buy a month ago, over a month ago.
I remember you talking about that early on, that you were looking into it.
And you just like hit people up. You know, people are overextended for sure. Yeah. And like, not to say that I'm not overextended, but I'm diamond handing. So it's like I'm not necessarily watching or trying to ape into other projects.
Yeah.
Allowed me some flexibility on making a deal like that.
Well, I think a lot of people are in similar situations like that guy too, with lots of different projects, right? You think you are locked into something, you're like, oh, I'm going to hold this forever. And then you see something else that speaks to you maybe a little bit more. And it's not like you're out on the other project. It's just like, this one's speaking to me. And I think you're going to see this, like, to bring to Dapper a little bit. I think we're going to see that in that space a little bit, where there's some like NBA moments. Someone was like, oh, I'm holding this forever. And then all of a sudden NFL gets introduced. And I think some people will be like, and again, not that they're out on the NBA, but they're like, I would love to have some liquid to be able to go get in there, you know?
Yeah. The interesting thing about the specifically Bored Apes and just a lot of NFTs, especially the profile picture projects, is they're all building a brand from the ground up.
Right.
You know, like they're saying this profile picture project, this NFT project is going to eventually become a global brand with like, you know, all these royalties are going to be coming in for you, all these perks, all these things that are going to make owning this particular thing really desirable. You know, we're buying into this club basically. And that's like my membership card for the club. So because the Bored Ape Yacht Club actually has executed on that and done that. Like if you go to eBay and look at the merch for Bored Ape Yacht Club, like a hat is going for like $2,000. You
Right,
know,
it's crazy.
like
It's got.
I tried to find a T-shirt and it was like $700.
Yeah,
if you didn't get it right away.
and it's gotten over the hump too, where like I don't think. I mean, who knows what's gonna happen? But I don't. It's gotten over the point where like it's cool now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's made it to that point where like the brand itself is gonna sell. And
Yeah,
it does
what
feel
the
like
fear though, the fear is that like not everything is cool forever, you know?
Right.
So like I like to compare Bored Ape Yacht Club to Supreme, where it was like kind of this niche thing where it created like this cult community of skateboarders, which eventually leaked its way into pop culture, which is what's happening with Bored Ape Yacht Club with like Des Bryant, Steph Curry, other athletes. Like, yeah, I think the NBA players are good barometers and good actors in terms of setting pop culture,
Totally.
you know, what's cool in pop culture.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're in, you know, makes me a little bit excited. And yeah, I don't know. It's definitely scary because that's pretty much all my money, dude. Like,
That's a lot. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I wanted to like go back and watch like as many of your vlogs as I could and make a tally. Like, was this a winning session? Okay, so now like and tally up all the winning sessions. This was like 82 hours of content got you the Bored Ape.
Yeah.
But it's sick, man. It's exciting. I'm excited to hear like how many days in are you right now in this 60-day? About a week. So,
and also the floor has dropped a couple percentage points over the course of that week. So it's not like, but we're kind of in a holding pattern with things that the Bored Ape Yacht Club has announced. So they, you know, one announcement and it could pump again. But like I'm not necessarily tracking it day to day. Of course, like I don't want to lose like a ton of money, but I think that it's gotten to the point of where it's never going to go to zero because like the number of unique holders has been steadily increasing, and I think like 5,500 unique people own right now. So there's no one whale could just be like, you know what, I'm just going to dump Bored Ape Club, Bored Ape Yacht Club, get out of here, go into another project.
Right.
It's like a huge club now. It's like a huge community.
And I mean, there's plenty of people who are probably in your situation too, waiting for the right moment to get in for themselves. So that's why, like, it feels like it's like a club. There's a line outside the door. So
yeah, I think it'd be really cool one day if like I get to go to a party with Steph Curry because I'm part of this club. You know?
I think that would be very cool. I would also like to, if you get +2. I'm sure your +1 is spoken for. +2, bring me along.
Yeah.
All right, should we ready to transition to some football now that we talked about the
yeah, no, I mean, what's great about this, what's great about your channel is that it's like an NFT channel too. So I'm glad that we get to talk about it.
It is. We were supposed to interview a group today that got moved to Monday, but this group called the Woodies that was supposed to happen a little bit later today. And then are you still like in the NFT streets, like poking around at other projects right now?
So that's the other reason why I settled on the Bored Ape Yacht Club is because I don't have time to be really digging deep on all these projects. Like I'm gonna like hold a blue chipper and just hope that it's gonna become a mainstream iconic brand, you know?
Yeah, that's the goal, right?
And so that's why I'm in Top Shot, which will eventually be into whatever NFL's version of this is, like, you know, touchdown or whatever it is. And then Bored Ape Yacht Club. And then my wife is obviously in World of Women.
Yeah, I like the leaning on the blue chips is sharp there. I think it's because if you're not in there grinding every day, I feel like it's pretty impossible to stay on top of it. So just like, I mean, nothing's a sure thing, but going after the ones that have a little bit more of a solid foundation makes sense. Dustin in the chat was saying we co-own Luca Hollow, which I don't know what that's probably not worth nearly enough, Dustin. I think right now that would be worth 3.
What is the actual highlight of that Luca Hollow?
Here, let me pull it up. So it's one of those. It was like a last second 3-pointer for the win, but it's a circus shot. It doesn't look like a normal 3. Let me see if I can get it over here. But there was actually a member of the community that had packed because it was a challenge reward, and they had packed a LaMelo Hollow. And that was the most expensive piece. And he was like, hey, I'm not going to go after this challenge, but I'm also not selling it. I'm going to hold it. He's like, I'll gift it to you if you want to go after it. And then we sent him the LaMelo after. So we did it as like the 3 hosts went after and did it together. So let me pull up. All right. So these are the Luka moments. Where's the...
Is this the most expensive moment in your collection, you think?
Yeah. I have a Ja Morant debut, a Zion debut, and Vince Carter debut, and like a Jason Tatum one. And those are all doing well, but the Luka Holo is up around 17. Wait, did I pass it? Where is it?
Wow, that's so sick.
Yeah, it was. All right, let's search this way. Yeah, there's only, here we go. Yeah, it's 15K right now, and there's only 53 of them.
Wow.
And this is the moment right here. So it's kind of like a...
Oh, I remember this shot.
Yeah. So it's a ridiculous shot.
That's so good.
And then, yeah, I was going to say, because we showed that, we have to show you this. Where's the Luka Magic drop that we created after hitting this bad boy? We have too many drops now that I can't find anything in a timely manner. Here we go. Luka Magic.
Oh my gosh. Dude, I am not afraid to admit it. I have the biggest man crush on that guy.
On Luka?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he's unbelievable, man. Luka's unbelievable. He's so fun. He's so fun. And he's got like the right personality. Like he's kind of got a chip on his shoulder. He's a little too cocky about stuff, but he backs everything up. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Dude, as far as the NFL goes, like this is the best season ever to start this thing because the Dallas Cowboys are relevant. The Dallas Cowboys bring ratings. We could just sit here and talk about the Dallas Cowboys the entire time. I'm not going to hate on it. I love the Dallas Cowboys. The viewers won't turn away because they hate the Dallas Cowboys. So they'll be in here being like, F you, the Dallas Cowboys suck. You know, the Dallas Cowboys bring ratings.
Here's the thing, though. I don't think people can hate the Cowboys anymore because I'm not a Cowboys fan. I've never rocked with the Cowboys, but that team is so fun. That offense is awesome. Like it's so, I don't like Zeke. I really am not a Zeke fan, and he's putting up some numbers, but like Tony Pollard looks awesome, and I can root for Tony Pollard.
You know who for the casual fan that doesn't necessarily follow too closely with the NFL, the Magic is partly, and a lot of credit should go to the offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. If you like actually watch the games, the way that he calls plays, he's like, so as a Cowboys fan and someone who watches every single play, I used to know, okay, they're going to run the ball here and it's going to be to the left to Zeke and it's going to be, whatever. Like I used to know, but now because of Kellen Moore, they're doing like all these crazy things. I don't know if it's going to be a run. I don't know if it's going to be a pass. I don't know if it's going to be like some sort of trick little gadget play. And then like the way that the like linemen are blocking, like normally linemen just go forwards and block. They're like pulling in all directions and all these traps. And then this massive lane just opens up in the middle of the field.
It's amazing.
I don't know how he's doing this, where he's designing all this stuff.
Well, and the like 2 other underrated things too is like Dak's not running this year, which is great. He's staying healthy. He's one of like the best 5 quarterbacks in the league right now. Like you don't need to run, dude. Just like get back and chuck. And the tight ends have been sneaky productive. Not like both of them, Schultz and Jarwin. Like they just use them really well.
I think that's a product of like how well the offense has been designed and like the options that are there. So like when you're a defense and you're looking at CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper and Pollard and Zeke, you're probably not going to like pay so much attention to Dalton Schultz.
No.
And Jarwin, like
you're not.
They're going to sneak behind and be wide open for these looks, which is what's been happening.
Yeah, and the defense is like, I haven't been great, but have like held their own. I think they've
been a playmaking defense.
Exactly. Diggs has like 14 interceptions or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, he's leading the league.
Crazy.
And a lot of people were surprised about the Jalen Smith cut. But here's the other thing about being a Dallas Cowboys fan. Like I watch every single play for, multiple seasons, and Jalen Smith was good. Like a couple years ago, he was being very productive. He was our best linebacker. They signed him to a long-term deal because they liked what they saw on the field. But the Jalen Smith that was out there the last 2 years, the year where he was like the defensive captain when they historically were bad last year, and then this year, he's not even seeing the field. And when he is seeing the field, he has an uncanny ability to get blocked. Like he's always running into the right spot to get blocked out of the play, or he's overrunning the play, or he's chasing someone the wrong direction. Like he's been so bad, but for some reason, Pro Football Focus has him ranked at like top 15 linebacker. And like, I'm just like, what are they like? What kind of analytics? Are you not watching the game?
I know.
So but, I think it was fine to let him go. And honestly, like I'm excited about the guys that are going to bring in behind him. They're younger, they're hungrier, they're faster, they have better instincts. So
yeah. All that being said, I don't think I'm ready to use him this week though. I don't know. The interconference games, no thank you, or interdivision games, we'll save it. We'll save the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, especially after last week, what happened with the Giants? Like,
oh my God,
what the hell? Like that was one of our games last week that we picked.
Yeah,
we picked the Giants to lose against the Saints, and it looked like a lock.
They were up 11 with 7 minutes to go, I think, and the Saints, man, are just boring. Like their offense has no creativity to it right now. They're running like 90% of the time, which I get. You have Kamara, but like that was so ugly. But I think we had to start with Thursday night, because last Thursday night, right, we had just got done streaming. We're like, fuck it, we're gonna throw two picks at the Bengals, and then without blinking an eye, 14-0 Jags.
Oh man, like. I wanted to like sweat on Thursday night, but
not that kind.
It ended up being a stressful sweat. Not like oh, this is fun, like up a couple touchdowns. Oh, they're coming back, making it a little interesting, getting my heart going a little bit. No, it was like, I hate the NFL. I'm not watching this stupid game. How the hell are they down 14-0?
And Joe Mixon starts off with a good game, then exits the game. And I'm like, come on. But the Jaguars finally became the Jaguars again, and then Urban Meyer's getting grinded on in bars, and
that was right after that, right?
It was right after that. Yeah, I guess he didn't take the plane back with the guys. He stayed in Ohio.
Now we see why,
Yeah, now we get it. He had to get like a weird lap dance at a bar.
I don't really know where I stand on that. I think that obviously, I obviously know he's in the wrong, of course.
Yeah,
but it's hard to know like how much of that clip was just like 5 seconds. Was that a 5-second thing where she backed into him and he kind of moved his arm in between and was like, hey, you shouldn't be doing this?
Yeah.
And then the clip ended? I don't know.
Here's the thing. It's probably a conversation he needs to have with his family. I don't know if Sports Center needs to be breaking it down, right? Like, I don't know if that's how, I don't need Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman being like,
yeah,
the Jaguars coach. Like, we don't need that. We don't need any of that.
The teleprompter, like with the little arrow pointing down to where his hand is, Yeah.
I don't need slow-mo of this. Like, I get it. Like, if he gets fired, it's not because of the grinding. It's because they've been pretty bad.
Yeah, so there's a lot of reports coming out of the locker room that he doesn't really have the respect of his team in a lot of ways. So if he does get fired, I think it's going to be because of some sort of player mutiny.
Right. It's going to not because
the Jags have been a dumpster fire. It was we saw in the opening clip. I was like, I think we should take the Jags week 1. Oh man, what a disaster! But we still have 3 teams alive, 3 of 6, and I feel good about it. A lot of people are out. So
a lot of people are out. I was going to see, was there an update I can pull up on Twitter and see if Circa
tweets every week on what the picks are, but they don't pick they don't show the picks until obviously everybody has their pick in.
Right.
So
I didn't know if
popularity and stuff.
I was just curious if they put out how many are down, how many because I know going into last week, I think we were down to 2,400 or something. Here we go. Yeah. 2,000. Oh, let me pull it up. 2,333 entries survived the week.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy to think about. That's a pretty good lottery. We have 3 lottery tickets out of 2,333, where the lottery prize is $6 million.
Yeah, I like those odds. I like those odds.
So now the trick is where do we go here? We got 3 picks. We we have some teams that we've used already that are that are good.
So it looks like Well, Tampa, we still can't touch Tampa, right? Because Tampa, we have a ways to go. We have a ways to go on Tampa because we get that extra bonus if we don't use them. What was it? If we don't use them before week 17?
Yeah, the last week of the season, basically.
Okay, so yeah. And
but, I was mentioning, if push comes to shove, we might need to throw him in there at some point, but I don't think it needs to be week 5.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. Now, I think we've used the Patriots for 1 pick, right?
We have, yeah. I'm pretty sure that it's the pick that's still live. I'll have to look that up real quick. But yeah, there's no like massive favorites this week. It's like,
that's the one that sticks out to me the most because Houston is so bad. If it's still that dude Mills.
Yeah, that's the thing is the quarterback situation has been who was the quarterback the first week?
It was Tyrod Taylor, who looked good.
Yeah. And like I would not want to bet against Houston with Tyrod Taylor because it was like you didn't know what you were gonna get. Like he could play well, he could turn it over, whatever. But
I think we did. I think we did bet against Tyrod Taylor in Houston.
Exactly,
right?
But this Mills guy seems like he doesn't have a clue.
No. Yeah, that one the Patriots sticks out the most to me. I think the Cowboys are going to be popular. I think that's a mistake. Only like I still think they're going to win, but that's just I think
that's a mistake as well. The Vikings at home seems like a good one.
Yeah, especially they're coming off a weird loss. I like that one. Indianapolis seems pretty bad too. They seem pretty bad. So Baltimore probably makes sense. And I don't think we've touched the Ravens at all yet, right?
We have not. They're also at home against Indy. What do you think about the Raiders? The Raiders we've used them once, but
yeah.
Chicago, I mean, at home. I actually think that Raiders 4% ownership. So I'm a little bit, I don't really know what the home field advantage situation is like for the Raiders in Vegas because traditionally Vegas is like a well-traveled city. So if you're like a Chicago Bears fan and you're like, hey, let's go to one game this year. Oh, Vegas, baby, let's go to Vegas. Right. And like, I think that they're probably teams like Steelers, Bears. I think that those teams like would show up really to Vegas very well, which kind of worries me for a Vegas home game. I mean, last week, the Raiders had a home game against the Chargers.
That's true. They really did. I was going to say too, though, like for the Raiders, I could see them traveling well as well because it's kind of close. You're a Raiders fan. You're like, let's just take the weekend and go.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what the split on fans are there.
Yeah. Now, I got a gross one that I don't think we should actually use, but I'm just going to throw it out there for a conversation point. Atlanta is down Ridley and Russell Gage. They have no wide receivers. So Kyle Pitts is like their only option. Matt Ryan looks so bad. The Jets defense actually looks good. I don't trust the Jets offense, but the defense looks pretty good. If there was ever a week to use the Jets,
they're playing in New York too, right?
No, they're playing in London. This is like the yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We would have to wake up at like 6 a.m. to sweat this one.
I really don't like it's if we had all 6 picks left, I'd be like, maybe we throw one at the Jets here. Because what I do like is truly when that Circa tweet comes out, it's going to be Jets 1, and that's going to be us.
There's never a week to use the Jets. I mean, I'm not that rich, man. We can't just be paying $1,000.
No, I'm with you. We shouldn't do it. I just think like if I was going to bet a money line this week that I think has pretty good value, like it's that one. That one.
The other interesting thing in the intro, I talked about having to, put your tournament life on the line at some point during the tournament to make a big move. It really hasn't shown that at the beginning of this thing. Like the favorites have been winning and the like sneaky ones that we thought we were being sharp on, like gave us some sweat, and then like the Jags, that was not sharp at all, it turns out. So I hate to be like the guy that
we thought Houston was quitting this year. And they were. We were just like Oh, sorry. I think my camera slowed down for a second. No, I was gonna say I think we were right about Houston. We were just right 2 weeks too early.
exactly. Well, we were right about Houston once the new Mills came in.
Right.
And we're still right about them. It's just Tyrod is like a guy that could sneak out a win here or there.
Yeah. So, all right. So I guess if we're like looking at this, I think we're not using Tampa, or we're trying our best not to use Tampa. I do think they win that game so easily. But
Yeah,
the
for sure.
Patriots, the Vikings, Ravens, and Raiders.
Well, we have 3 entries, so like
Yeah,
we could use Tampa.
that's true too. That's true too. I
I
do
mean,
think Tampa's a gimme this week. Like at
like
home, Miami's so bad.
I think it's a virtual lock too, and I think that a lot of people won't use Tampa because they're trying to save them for the last week.
Yeah, that's true too.
So maybe maybe we go with one of our picks and give up the $1 million bonus in that one entry.
Yeah, I would say like, listen, 6 million is still pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll be able to spend that pretty well. I mean, you'll be
Yeah.
able to get multiple apes. You'll be able to get every moment that you want on Top Shot,
There we go.
and maybe have enough left over for a house.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. We the people in the chat says Tampa's my survivor. I think then Vikings and Cowboys is a scary pick this week.
Yeah, those divisional games, man, they always
They're
scare the
so
shit
weird.
out of me.
I think if the Vikings had won pretty handily against the Browns, or even just won if they beat the Browns, I think I'd be a little bit more scared of that game. But they're 1-3. They have to win this game. Detroit is bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't think we need to use them, right? If we do Tampa, how do you feel about New England? I feel like I've been
I'm fine with New England,
yeah.
and I think that if New England loses, then I just have to give you so much shit next week on the stream. But it's fine. I think we honestly we should go Tampa, New England, and the Vikings.
Yeah,
with our 3.
I think so too. Especially because when you look at the future value of 2 of our 3 picks is pretty unexciting. So I like that. I like that we're just kind of burning those.
Yeah. And we gotta roll with it, like us 2,300 entries stand between us and 6 million. I like our chances. I've been how's the picks been going for you?
Oh man, you know what? Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up.
I've missed the Thursday night game again this week. I'm just like so spread thin with all the things that I'm doing. I always miss the Thursday pick, and it sets me down one. By the way, all the emails have went out, and I've sent out Venmo. So thank you guys for playing in the weekly pick'em.
Oh yeah, if you could send that to me too, because I want to send some moments out to some of those.
Yeah, what I'll do is when I send the emails, I'll just copy you on the emails.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed Thursday night as well too. I
I think Liam is saying, is it worth doubling down on one of the 2 teams and saving the Tampa pick? So there's like a lot of value in advancing, and there's a lot of value in saving Tampa for the very last week of the season. So it's like it's really hard to know on like what the right decision is, but at some point maybe it's like a hedge, it's like getting us to the next week with the highest probability, but still saving Tampa on a couple of our picks that like have it in our back pocket so that we could potentially use them in the last week of the season.
Yeah, I'm more excited about continuing to have Tampa just because like the money is obviously cool. But I just like still having that option because I do think they're one of the best teams. I was thinking about this too. I'm excited. We haven't used the Chargers yet, I don't think, in any of ours.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be a really good one to have.
For sure. And I don't like using them obviously in AFC West games because that division is just tough.
I know.
But I'm sure that they're gonna have plenty of they're playing the NFC East.
Yeah, so there we go, right? We just load them up whenever
whenever they're playing they're playing the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles is a good one.
And the Giants.
The Eagles will be a good one.
Yeah, whichever one they play at home. Actually, the Eagles would travel well to LA, I'm sure.
Yeah. Ooh, we had another tiebreaker. We had Log and Groff, I don't know, and JC Rivers.
Logan.
Oh my God, thank you.
Logan DeGriff.
That's incredible. Of course, that's Logan. That's hilarious. And then JC Rivers and came down to the tiebreakers. And look at how close those tiebreakers were too. 48.
I know. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So I sent the email out to Logan this morning. So you should be checking your email if you're watching, Logan.
Congrats. And Tea Time is saying, should we do a team hold DFS contest this weekend? We probably should. We haven't messed around with that yet. We probably should. We can get on that. I'm excited about this week's picks. I'm not gonna share mine yet, but I just think there's a lot of fun games. Like that Steelers Broncos game. I think a lot of people are gonna be on a lot of people are going to be on the Broncos just because of their record, but I think Teddy Bridgewater might miss this game, right?
Oh, really? So yeah, that's interesting. And also, like, Ben is fighting for his job now. Like, you wouldn't think so, but now
he looks so dusty.
He looks dusty. They're at home, and it's like, if you're ever gonna save your season, if you're ever gonna save your job, it's got to be this game. This is the spot right here.
Yeah, it has to be. I think that Jets game is going to be like, I'm not excited to watch Jets Falcons, but I do. I think there is a.
Oh, dude. I mean, I was sweating the Jets last week in overtime. I was just like, because I knew that if the Jets won, that it would knock a lot of people out of Survivor.
Yeah, no, I know, right? What was so brutal about that sweat is as that was happening, we didn't know it was happening.
I wasn't even paying attention to the Saints. I didn't even know what was going on. I thought that game was over. I was just watching the Jets.
Yeah. Oh, I was so. You know what was funny too? I usually hate living in New York because it means CBS is the Jets game and Fox is the Giants game, and I'm never. The Giants get like good games to watch, but I'm not usually pumped. But to have both like sweats happening simultaneously was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, Liam says the Chargers-Browns one is going to be a good one as well. Yeah, I'm excited for that game.
Yeah, I think the Chargers win, but I'm excited for that one as well.
I do too. I think I'm jumping on the Chargers bandwagon since the Patriots really aren't going to make any moves, and they're just fun. Justin Herbert's fun.
The uniforms are probably the best in the league.
Totally.
So yeah, they're a fun team to watch.
It's crazy what happens when they get a new coach. Like they get a coach who is confident, and all of a sudden.
Yeah, well, I will say that it's year 2 for Herbert, and but you're right. The coach, it seemed like it was a bad situation for them. But COVID. Sorry, go ahead.
No, they just had so many wild, like last minute losses last year that were like inexplicable. It made no sense how they were happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry.
I mean, I think the Chargers could go to the Super Bowl.
I do too. I mean, like, what do you think? We like buried the lead because we have Bills Chiefs this week on primetime. Like, what do you think about that game?
I took the Chiefs in my pick.
Yeah.
Just because the Chiefs are at home, right? I think I saw they were at home.
I think so. Yeah.
And the Chiefs like need a win, whereas Buffalo doesn't necessarily like need to win. And
yeah,
I think that I kind of go with those situations where it's like which team is more desperate.
Yeah.
But I follow a couple sharps on Twitter, poker players that are sharps, and they always talk about this rule of the trenches, meaning that like whichever team is going to have the better matchup in the offensive and defensive lines gets like an extra little push,
yeah,
that the public doesn't see.
That's got to be the Bills, right?
Yeah, that's the thing is like probably,
yeah. So I think the Chiefs are. If I had to pick one of those two teams to go to the Super Bowl, if you had to pick one of those two, I think I'd pick the Chiefs. But I just keep it like the Bills got smoked last year in the playoffs. I'm sure they've had this game circled and are like ready to go. And I don't know, the Chiefs. I mean, I think if the Chiefs were like 3-1, 4-0 going to this game, I would think the Bills would go in and win. But I think being 2-2, like they can't lose any more games when they look at their division and everybody's good. Everybody's ahead of them right now.
Yeah, that's exactly my thoughts right there.
Yeah. I'm excited for that one though, because I mean the Chiefs haven't played defense yet this year, so it's I think they're just gonna be running up and down. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. I'm also glad that we scheduled this pretty early. It got me out of bed, got the blood flowing. I'm actually gonna be playing my first live tournament of the series because I can't go to the Rio. I'm going to the Golden Nugget.
There we go.
And we're playing a $600 buy-in, $500,000 guaranteed today with multiple starting days.
Okay.
So
what day are we on?
The great players are going to be over at the Rio, so I'll be slumming it with the recreational players over at Golden Nugget.
What day in the multiple start days are we on?
This is day B, so the second day. And then I believe that there's going to be a C tomorrow. And then I believe that I don't think there's a D, unless they do like a 10 a.m. and then like a 6 p.m. or something like that.
Yeah. So do you have? Sorry, go ahead.
No,
do you have like a
Sunday?
Do you have like a master calendar set up that you?
Yeah, there's an interest. I'll actually like. I don't know if anybody's poker fans, but this is a very good tool, and I'm gonna drop it in the chat so that if anybody is coming to Vegas and they're interested in what tournaments are happening, someone who is a saint created a spreadsheet that shows everything, like how much the buy-in is, what the starting days are, what the rake is, just like every single thing that would be important to know. So I'm going to pull up. I don't even have the live chat up, but I'm pulling it up right now, and I'm gonna drop the link in there. I don't know if I'm gonna be allowed to because it's I don't know if people can drop links into your thing.
You should be able to. If not, you can put it in the private chat at StreamYard, and I'll throw it in there.
Yeah, I popped it in there, but yeah, it's
Stefani says a huge poker fan. Mike, bring up your WPT NFTs. We did. We shared those last time. We shared that Scotty win, baby. All right.
Some fun sweats this week. We'll be playing poker. For those that like don't know, I make YouTube like vlogs that kind of document my life as a poker player. So I'm
actually gonna drop that link in the chat right now as well.
So I'll be covering my profit loss over the next 7 weeks. So far, we're in profit land. Not by a ton. Maybe $2,000 of profit in the first week. But that tournaments get expensive, man. When you start buying into tournaments and you don't cash,
no, I mean, dude, same thing like with tournaments and even like DraftKings, like DFS type tournaments. I've always found for like my own mental health, I need to big something early. Hit something early so that way I can. I mean, obviously easier to say that than do that, but like being up 2K the first week, it's like, okay, well, that'll at least offset a couple buy-ins.
No, that's 100%. And it also like gets your confidence level up and it gets your mind frame like, okay, we're playing with house money here. Let's like put on a little run here. But the moment you get behind, it's like, oh, I need to get, like people have that feeling of chasing or really need like to get unstuck,
So my buddy's out there right now and he final tabled something this week. And for like, I think for 10K he hit. Nice. And so now he's just kind of like all the pressure's off. Now he can, not all the pressure's off, but like he doesn't, you're seeing a little bit more green and you can see that come down and go back up or whatever, but at least you're not chasing at that point,
Exactly. So yeah, I'll be updating how the tournaments go, and the dream is to win a bracelet, win lots of money over the next 7 weeks, but never know. You'll see it on YouTube.
There we go. We'll definitely see it. Yeah, so definitely go check out Johnny's channel. He's been generous enough to do this over here. So the least we can do is get back over there and hit that sub. And I will say, it's a lot of fun over there. I'm glad I found it because I think we've told this story before, but I was sitting down on my computer to do something one Sunday night, and I was like, just looking at YouTube. So I got a notification that Johnny was live. And he was getting after it in a couple of tournaments and also hitting some wine. And that was one of the best. That was one of the best live stream poker shows I've watched in a while.
That's awesome, man. I had a nice deep run last Sunday in a WSOP bracelet event on stream. And then this Sunday, I'll also be streaming the WSOP bracelet event this Sunday. So
awesome.
It's I get animated when I win all ends. I'm happy.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, you should be.
Yeah. And then when I lose them, I'm dejected and I just fall over on the floor, throw the chair. I just let the emotions go.
Yeah. Stefania says, do you have a favorite type of tournament? Like, is there a structure you enjoy the most?
Yeah. So, well, basically the main event is the one I was talking about before. It's the tournament when you get butterflies, like this nervous feeling, and every pot that you win is like an adrenaline rush and an adrenaline dump. So it's the one time of year where I feel like a human being, more so on the verge of like happiness, sadness, death, birth. Everything is like all these emotions. And normally when I play poker, it's more of like a business type thing. So the main event is the one tournament that really gets the juices flowing. And it's like, but yeah, I play No Limit Hold'em, and to be honest, if it's not the main event, I don't want the levels to be terribly long because I don't want to sit there all day. Like 30-minute levels, sure. 40 minutes, sure. But like anything longer than that, it's like, let's get this thing going. Let's get some all-ins here and let's see if we're going to run this up.
I'm 100% with you. I'm ready to cook. I remember I played in what was the event? I don't know if they do it anymore. The PCA. Do they still do the PCA in the Bahamas?
They do, yeah. I think they might have taken a year off, but they do.
Yeah, and it was like 2-hour levels, and I was like, kill me, man, 2-hour levels, like, and then maybe it's not anymore. This was years ago.
Yeah. Well, because everybody was like, we want more value for our dollar, like make longer levels. The pros were like, we want to have a bigger advantage against the amateurs. But honestly, like time is money, man. Like sitting there for multiple days and then min cashing and making back your buy-in or bubbling and making no money over the course of 2 days.
While all of the surrounding games are cooking, right? Like all of the cash games that are happening are hot, right? That because everyone's busting and they're like, all right, let's go, let's fire it up. Yeah, I remember I only played in that main event that one time, and I remember the same thing where my adrenaline was through the roof, and I was like 21, so I was like a boy, and I remember I was not playing crazy, but I was like so jittery, and then the best thing that could have happened was I got a migraine, and I no longer I never want a migraine, but I couldn't. All of the thoughts and excitement and all that were gone because I was just like, oh man, I have a headache, and I played so much better because of it. So
yeah, I mean that's a product of the adrenaline and lack of nutrition and just sitting there for hours on end, stressed. Like migraines are bound to happen. I've had some adrenaline dumps, and I mean the busting out of the main event. Everybody's going to do that unless you win. So that is the worst feeling in poker. And I remember the very first time I busted out of the main event. I called a raise with pocket tens, and the flop came Jack 10 7, and I got it all in on the flop, and the guy just had pocket jacks, and I remember looking at his hand and being like, "Wow, this is how it's gonna end." And the board runs out, and you feel like you're in a car crash. I heard this analogy recently. You feel like you're in a car crash. You stand up, you just start wandering around. You're like, "What happened?"
Yeah.
And then you just make your way to the car, and you sit in the car silent for 15 minutes. And then you start driving, and I got pulled over by the cops as I'm pulling out of the Rio. And I'm like, this is already the worst day ever.
Excuse me, sir. I just got knocked out of a tournament. I don't have time for this.
He told me that my tint was too dark.
Oh, come on.
And he wrote me a ticket for too dark of tint.
Oh, that is a good analogy, though. That is what it feels like when you get knocked out. You're in a coma for an hour of just blindly wandering around, being like, what happened? The worst too is just putting together. Okay, so how many hours did I spend doing this? And what was the takeaway? That's where I get into trouble.
No, yeah, it's generally you're not going to show a profit in these tournaments. But the one time that you run deep and have a taste, and even if you don't win, that's what keeps you coming back.
Absolutely.
That keeps the dream alive.
Absolutely. I'm glad we talked about this because I have a home game tonight. So I feel like now my excitement is back. I'm ready now. Before I was like, this is a chore. And now I'm like, no, I gotta play.
Yep, let's go. All right, bro. Let's do some fun sweats this weekend. I'm headed to this tournament, and always love connecting. And one thing, actually, we don't talk a ton throughout the week.
Yeah.
We text, during the NFL Sunday, but we don't talk a ton throughout the week. So this is a great time for me to just even catch up with you. So it's cool that we do this.
This has been, I've really enjoyed doing this and getting to know you and hanging a little bit. And it's just getting me excited about football too. So now I need to start building lineups. I actually have to run through a couple of Top Shot things. So we'll say bye to Johnny. We'll get you out of here. Keep us posted. I'm going to actually drop your link one more time into the YouTube streets to make sure you guys are checking out his channel and following along as we go. So go over there and sub. Good luck this week, man. Run well.
Appreciate it, man. Mike, we'll talk soon.
Sounds good, man. See ya. Bye. All right. Shout out to Johnny. Love having him here. Dude's great. Stefani says gambling Mike is ready. Gambling Mike is ready. All right, here was the one thing that I needed to talk about before we get out of here. So it seems like Run It Back's coming next week. That's pretty exciting. We love that. We love to get hyped about that. No official date yet, but rumors of Thursday. But here's the thing I wanted to tell you guys, all right? I know there's not too many of us here right now, but our man G Dunn, who I don't think is watching right now, our man Greg, is getting married next week, and he's going to be off of the Top Shot streets for a little while. So Dustin and I were talking, and we think we're for his wedding, we're all going to just like gift him a moment. All right. And it can be a floor moment. It can be a garbage moment, preferably Daniel Tice. Who cares? You know what? Like something garbage. Who cares? And we're going to send it over to our man on Top Shot. Wow. The sun is coming in a weird way that like my camera doesn't know how to react with this lighting, but we're all going to send Greg a little something. So I put his handle in there. If you guys could do that, I'm going to send him over to Taco Fall, I believe. But yeah, let's make that happen. Do I need to back up? Like, what do I need to do here? So let's make that happen. Let's make that happen just for his wedding. You know, it's exciting. Send him a little something. I think it'll be fun. Rolo is a great call, Liam. Rolo is a great call because I would hate that, but he would love that. So we'll talk more about it on the Discord, but I don't think he's watching right now. So it felt like the right time to do it. That's right. Top Shot bump for the wedding. Let's go. Let's do it. All right, y'all. We're going to wrap there. Shout out Johnnie one more time for being here. That dude's awesome. The dude is just cool. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a cool guy. You can just feel the cool vibes, right? I say we flood him with either a PJ or a bull. I like that too. Yeah, it honestly doesn't matter what basketball player you send him because he probably won't know who they are. So there's that. Yeah, Greg's getting married. So it's not this weekend. It's next weekend, which is exciting, which is probably when Run It Back's going to happen. So I won't be able to stream because I'll be at the wedding. But all right, I think that's it. In honor of Dustin, we'll throw a little THT. Remember, go subscribe to Johnnie. Go like the stream. We'll see everybody next week. We out. THT,